Today on Geek Devotions, we're talking about, well, I'm really not sure. Oh, hey, Count Clixula. What are we talking about today?
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
Blah, blah, blah.
I like it.
Blah.
Today on Geek Devotions, we're talking about Batman vs. Dracula, Red Rain, and taking care of some people who others ignore. Hello, Devoted Geeks. Welcome to Geek Devotions, a show from Devoted Geeks who are devoted to letting you know that you are loved. I'm Dallas. I'm so glad that you hit the play button today. If you're new to our show, we take geek pop culture items like movies, video games, and comic books, and we use them to let people know that they're loved. So if you don't watch past this moment right here, right now, know this. We love you. We care about you. There is a plan and a purpose for your life. Do not give up. This is episode 2 of what we like to call Fangtober, where all month long we're doing episodes based off of vampire movies, books, and comics. And this week we are doing Batman, Dracula, Red Rain, which is an Elseworlds comic that came out years ago. And if you're interested in having more content like this and others, consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that like button because it helps the channel grow and help you to know when we come out with more videos. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, I'm a big fan of Elseworlds. It is one of my favorite series that DC Comics has ever done because basically they go, here, have fun, and creators do. And this is one of the ones that's kind of iconic. It's out there where Batman has to go toe-to-toe with Dracula. And the art's beautiful, the story's interesting. We may have a review on our website later. But the basic story of it is simply this. Gotham is Gotham. And that's the problem. You have upper class, lower class, and people don't pay attention to those who are in the slums. And in the midst of it, this is where Dracula has taken root. He has been eating off of and feeding off of the people in the slums so much, but they're in the darkness, so people don't realize it. They don't think about them. They don't see them. And what's been happening is he's been creating secretly an army of vampires to take over and basically just take over Gotham completely. And Batman has to do something about it. But something's different about Batman. Something's been taking place at nighttime that he doesn't quite understand. That something is another vampire basically turning Batman into a vampire. Crazy, right? For years, we've had stories about Batman being kind of vampire-ish, and sure enough, he becomes a vampire in this book, and it's really fascinating to see the progression, see how he handles the situation, and the dichotomy between two people. But what really stood out to me is the basis of the issue. See, what was happening, like I said, is that nobody was paying attention to those living in the slums, to the unfortunate, to those who lived in the shadows. And these are the people that the enemy, Dracula, was targeting, that he was attacking, because he knew that nobody would care. And this broke my heart. And there's actually a little bit of commentary about this in the book. Again, one of the reasons why I like this book, it's more than just a, ooh, scary monster story. There's some depth to it. Where Gordon himself is lamenting on the fact that he wishes that he had seen this before, that he'd been paying attention. And Bruce talks about it too, how he wishes that he had been paying attention more. Guys, I want to encourage you in this. There are people in your life who are living in the shadows, who are living in the darkness. Not just the people who you naturally think about. Because we do. We naturally think about those people who are poor and homeless and dealing with certain things. And we do need to keep our eyes on them and help them where we can. We need to have a tender heart for these individuals. But there are other people in your life who are doing the same thing. They may look like they have it all together on the front, but they're still living in darkness. They're still living a path and a life of loneliness and regret. And when you find yourself in these situations, this is where the enemy likes to strike. This is where the enemy likes to feed off of people. But it's up to us who see things a little bit differently to reach out to them, to show them hope, to show them the love of God, so that the enemy has no room in their life anymore. In Matthew chapter 25, you see Jesus giving a series of parables about the second coming of Jesus and what it's going to be like and being prepared. And he talked about how at the end of the days that the king will come to people and they'd be like, hey, I'm going to bless you people because when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was sick, you took care of me. When I was naked, you took care of me. And they were like, well, when did this happen? We didn't see you. And then it says this, Matthew 25, verse 40. And the king will answer them, truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers, you did it to me. In contrast, later on that exact same passage, he says to the people, because you didn't take care of me, because you didn't do this when I was hungry and when I was in need, I won't bless you. You'll be cast out. And they're like, well, when did this happen? When were you like this? And he says, just the contrary, that Because you didn't take care of the least of these, you didn't take care of me. See, we're commanded as believers to take care of people who are finding themselves in terrible situations. Now, yes, we have to use wisdom. We have to be sensitive to certain situations. We need to help people the best that we can by being good stewards of what we have. But the fact of the matter is this: it starts with you being willing to see them. You being willing to open your eyes and see the people in your life who just need some hope. They need some help in some fashion. Why? Because these are the people the enemy likes to feed off. I want to encourage you today to open your eyes and look around you. Who needs help? Who's in pain? Who simply needs some encouragement? And then you step out and be the person who does that. You be the Batman in the situation and save people from a life-sucking Dracula that the world is today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Hope this has encouraged you and challenged you. And if we can pray with you, if we can encourage you in any way, please reach out to us. Find us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We would love to pray with you. Your question of the week is simply this. As this is a Batman versus a classic monster, Dracula, what classic movie monster would you love to see Batman go up against? And how do you think it'll play out? Leave a scenario down below. I love to speculate these things. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll also remind you guys that as of the airing of this, Metroid Dread has dropped out there on the Nintendo shop. I have purchased it and I'm playing it right now, and there should be a review up on our website, geekdevotions.com, within the next few days. And so if you want to have an idea of what the gameplay is like, see if it's worth your playing, check out that review. It's going to be up here in the next couple of days. This review is partially sponsored by our amazing patrons, who you'll see on the screen here next to me. These individuals are heroes to Celeste and I, because they've partnered with us in prayer and in life together, but also financially helping us to create content that's designed to encourage, challenge, and inspire. So if you want to become a devoted Patreon geek for as low as $1 a month, check out our website, geekdevotions.com. Click on the support page. There's all kinds of information there. Also, don't forget, guys, that we have our podcast, Comm Talk by Geek Devotions, but we're launching a brand new one called The Bottom Shelf, where myself, John, and Kevin will be reviewing terrible movies, letting you guys know how terrible they are. Click the link in the bio down below to see that podcast, because it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be fun, it's going to be hysterical, and it's going to be terrible at the same time. So check that out. Until next time, stay devoted, peace and love.